So, welcome. I'm Devi Wetterer, and I'm here with Theresa Goodman. Um,
Hello.
ah, love your laugh. So glad in this live broadcast, and I wanted people or folks to know we have an upcoming event called the Open Your Heart to Connection Ritual and Trance Dance, and
Mhm.
Theresa is going to be who is her business is, can you share your business again? I thought I had written it down. It's
Yeah, I am one of the owners and founders of Harvest Moon Botanica, and it's located on 41st and Troost. We are a women of color artisan collective, and getting together with these women really kind of started this process for me of really stepping into becoming a medicine keeper. Um, or medicine woman. Some people say medicine man, medicine woman. I use those interchangeably, though. I think I'm a keeper of the medicine. Um, and so we started doing cacao ceremonies probably in about 2018, a year before we had opened. And it was a great experience because it was almost as if I had done these ceremonies in the past before. And it just kind of all came to me. I was asked to do ceremony, and I was like, "Well, I don't know what I'm doing." And when I asked Spirit, well, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? It was almost as if this information was just kind of downloaded to me, and it's like, you know what you're doing. It's kind of like with medicine. It's like when a plant is presented to you, the plant tells you what it's good for, not you tell the plant what it's good for. And so that's kind of the same thing what happened with cacao is that cacao just kind of it's such a huge heart opener. And when I first started working with the medicine, um, I just noticed an instant change in my life. It was this great kind of heart opening, this connection, and almost this really deep understanding of um, plant spirit medicine, because you have plant medicine and then you have plant spirit medicine. And plant spirit medicine is just it's really it creates deep healing in that process. Because I mean, you can go get plantain and put it on a wound, and that'll heal you physically. But when you connect with the spirit of the plant really kind of helps to heal your soul. Whereas plant medicine heals your physical body. So I really appreciate, the just understanding, have a better understanding of plant spirit medicine versus plant medicine. And so it's very powerful when that plant spirit really can kind of really take over your spirit. You're just joyous, and cacao is it's got many new vitamins and nutrients, but cacao um, has a love. It's got the bliss and the love hormones in it that really just give you this sense of bliss. Just kind of walking around after the cacao ceremonies, about a week afterwards, you're still kind of you the benefits of it are longer lasting than just ingesting it. So, I will say just allow yourself time to process all of that, because it's deep, deep healing that that Mama Cacao really opens our hearts to. So, yeah.
Thank you. I learned something too about, from you is about spirit medicine or plant spirit medicine and
Yeah.
then just plant medicine. So thank you for making that distinction. I really
Yeah.
appreciate that. And I didn't even know that cacao, I didn't know how long it impacted you. Um,
Forever.
forever. Forever you will be touched. Forever.
Forever you just
Forever
be.
and ever. I think I shared a little bit with you. I watched the Calm, which is an app about that helps you sleep, and it was about cacao. And I wanted to make reference to it's in I think it's in Colombia, correct, or Ecuador, and even in Guatemala. So it's really a sacred process, harvesting and actually preparing the cacao. And it's gone on from tradition to tradition, from family to family, and it's made in a sacred way. Can you speak about that a little bit with us?
Yeah, it's really really neat too, because as I'm working with cacao, I'm learning so much about my culture. So I'm an indigenous woman, but I don't. My culture was just taken from me, so I didn't really grow up knowing these things. It's just recently in the last 20 years that I've really delved into. First, it was plant medicine, of course, because it's the most physical thing that you can see. But with the tribes and especially where we get our cacao, we get our cacao from, small cooperatives. And what's beautiful about cacao is that women work with cacao because the cacao pod, the seeds are on the inside, just like a woman. And so it's a feminine plant, and it's very mothering. So that's why you find a lot of women actually in these cooperatives working with mama cacao. And I thought it was interesting because, corn and cacao are both of our sacred plants that we use. And corn, it's really interesting, but corn grows upwards and the seeds are on the outside, just like the male. And cacao actually grows downward, and it represents the divine feminine. So I think it's really interesting that corn and cacao are kind of like these two plants that work together. So yeah, we definitely source our ceremonial cacao is very different than you get your cacao nibs from Whole Foods or wherever people get them from. They actually still take the fat out of it. They take the raw cocoa butter out of it. And so it's nice to be able to work with a plant that literally still has all that cocoa butter in it. So it's really nice to be able to have all the ingredients still preserved in this cacao. And made from indigenous hands. We get some from Tanzania, I know, and then most of it does come from South America. But again, it's always cooperatives run by women, because we're the keepers of the cacao. I mean, the cacao represents the feminine. Not that masculine can't take that. It's just one of those things where it just opens our hearts. It's such a wonderful, wonderful plant spirit to work with. So
I love that. I feel good inside just listening to you sharing about it.
Yeah. It's almost like mama cacao like wraps a warm blanket around your heart, and you're just, for the rest of the week, you're just walking around with a little warm blanket around your heart.
Oh.
She'll get you.
She'll get you. She'll grab a hold of your heart.
She will. She'll make you be a loving person.
Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful. I'm learning as I'm talking with you, and I have a beautiful way of sharing, and I can just tell how it speaks to your heart and to your spirit, and how you've taken it on as your own medicine.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, like I know you said you have a way that you prepare, and I know that this is a little teaser for those who are coming to the event, the Open Your Heart event, is that you have shared with me that many times people have shared with you, this is the best cacao that I have ever tasted. So I don't want you to give out your secret recipes, but
Well, I'm happy to share too, because You can have my recipe, but you can't have my sauce.
And you put your own juju and blessings and love.
Yeah, no, it's a ceremony, even preparing the cacao. I make mine with hemp milk that I make myself at home. So I blend the hemp seeds with dates just to make it a little sweeter. And, I just put the whole thing in there, the whole hemp seed. And so it's nice and thick. I also add raw local honey because cacao is pretty bitter. I'd rather people drink the cacao instead of being like, oh, this is so bitter. Because it's also, to me, adding the raw local honey. Yes, you want mama cacao to come in and, wrap that loving blanket around your heart, but you also want to sweeten the deal with a little bit of honey, So honey is just, to me, that's another sacred medicine as well. I am always telling my kids, so they get a bump or a cut or a bruise, and I'm always like, just put some honey on it. So, and it works. It's a great antiseptic and everything like that. So, just all those, I'm really grateful that, I can practice this medicine now, and I have the technology to do it. I'm not sitting here smashing the beans. I mean, goodness, so I'm grateful.
Forever, right?
Right. I'm really grateful, it's almost like ancient wisdom, but still in modern times that we get to practice cacao. Because actually in the past, with the rise of the patriarchy, cacao was not accessible to everybody. It was only accessible to the nobles and the oligarchs, and only to the wealthy, and only used at certain times. Whereas before, when we were practicing before the rise of the patriarchy, it was accessible to everybody. And so now we're seeing a shift in that, in which Mama Cacao made a pact with the earth goddess that she was going to come back as the goddess of fertility. So now cacao is chocolate cacao is associated with love and lovemaking and all of that. So she is now the goddess of fertility, and she's now abundant. And now that's why you see cacao ceremonies popping up now, because she's like, I'm coming back because this is not balanced.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow, sharing your medicine.
Yeah.
And the cacao ceremony is something that's been an indigenous culture. So it's not something that's new age or just coming out now. It's
coming back.
It's coming. Yeah. And I agree with you. The divine feminine is rising in women, and women or leadership roles or healing roles or and ceremonies to bring back the feminine. To me, it's about love, about collaboration. It's about supporting. It's about equality. It's about collaboration and for the good of all.
Yeah, and for me as an Indigenous woman, I think it's really important that we share our culture with people. There's this idea that you shouldn't teach other people this culture or that culture, and I'm the complete opposite. I really feel like if we share our culture, we unite better. Because there's a difference between cultural appropriation and a cultural appreciation. And if you're taught the ways and you respect our ways, and you pay honor to the teachers and your ancestors before you, I don't have a problem with people sharing that, what they learn from us. I teach people how to smudge, and smudging isn't specifically or only to Indigenous people. This is for everybody to share, because we all need healing. All of us need healing. And so if there's more people out there smudging, I don't have to do it all. If there's more people doing cacao ceremonies, I don't have to do them all. It's like, it's shared, sharing of our cultures, and we're in America. We are the melting pot. Let's share our cultures. Let's blend our cultures into who we are today, because a lot of us don't have culture. A lot of us, the culture was taken from us. So I always like to get little tidbits of different people's cultures and put it together, because as long as I'm paying respect to my teachers, to the culture that it came from, I feel like it's only going to help us heal more. The more tools that we have, it'll help us all become better humans.
Yeah, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I also feel there's a sense of, there's not as much, in indigenous culture, there's a lot of ritual, and between, even with, transitioning from, a boy to a man or a teen, and there's a way to honor life and the seasons and the earth, and brings me joy to honor people and to honor each other and to honor the earth. And I know that's so important to you, and as far as even being a community is so important to you as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And being an elder. So thank you. This has been great. I've learned so much, and then your heart just speaks with joy as you share about this.
It's such a great medicine. I want everybody in the world to try cacao.
It's your secret mission, I know. So, thank you for sharing and for being here. And I think, there may be more questions, but I think this may be the last one. Is what can people, in coming to the Open Your Heart to Connection ritual and trance dance, what is, from your wisdom and knowledge and working with other groups, what would you share about what the impact or what they may be experiencing from the cacao? I know you shared a lot, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can, people experience bliss afterward. And to me, this collaboration is going to be fantastic, because normally when we have a cacao ceremony, it's mainly focused around cacao, but this is cacao with movement and dance. So I think that this here, we're going to ingest the cacao, and then to be able to move our bodies and to be able to connect with the spirit of the drum as well. I just think it's going to be such a fantastic event. I mean, I'm so excited for it. I'm like, I can't wait to go and, dance and participating in it, because, movement, a lot of times when you ingest, plant spirit medicine, it's easier to kind of, when your heart starts to open, it's nice to be able to move your arms, and because our arms are an extension of our hearts. And so to be able to move your arms in a way that's going to be more healing and I don't know who can listen to a drum beat and not dance or move. Like, so I'm really excited. I think people are going to experience more bliss, more open hearts. Also, just a better understanding. If there's something at work that you might have a conflict or something with, having cacao really can kind of open those doors of and give you a different perspective. So it's a really nice. I highly recommend it.
Highly recommend it. I do too.
Yes, it's so great, just to have your heart open. I mean, who doesn't want their heart open?
Yeah. I agree with that. And I feel like we close our hearts down, or we shut ourselves down from trauma, from hurts, from ridicule or shame, however that may be. And to be in a space where, in the beginning of having the sacred ceremony and the spirit medicine, to allow us to open our hearts more fully,
Yeah.
And then we'll be going on a guided journey. And we'll be doing some breath work and then get into trance dance and there's shamanic drumming with Coyote and Shakti.
Yeah.
So to me, there's an alchemical process going on internally from ingesting the spirit plant medicine of the cacao and the ceremony. And then as we go into this, go into a guided journey, we'll go into deep within our I call our soul and listening to our soul. So our soul speaks to us in images and language and sounds and color and images and geometries. So in this journey, we'll be going in deep within to listen to our soul.
Yeah.
And then to be getting the breath work, which is another alchemical process of moving the energy of what needs to be moved out, and then to dance it and be danced by the drumming, be danced by our spirit, to let go and allow this sacred medicine to work and to release and to connect and to transform us.
Yeah.
So this is just beautiful.
It's going to be powerful. I mean, heck, the cacao would probably last a whole month after that, probably. You'll just be lovey for about a month.
Ooh, I love that. Well, thank you. This has just been lovely. And
thank you.
Just love to, I feel excited and warm and loved and
I know. Well, that's the thing about plant spirit medicine. Us talking about it, she's already here. Mama Cacao is already here with us, because it's almost like when grandma's coming into town and she's already there, even before she gets there, you prepare the house for her. And that's what we're doing. We're preparing our hearts. We're preparing all this, creating that space for our hearts to open. So yeah, she's already here.
Mama's here.
Her
oh, beautiful. Thank you so much. And I just wanted to share the Open Your Heart event is on June 25th. It's on a Saturday. And, would love to, I always feel honored with the people who participate. And I know that, we're creating a sacred space, and I'm blanking, but
I'm just looking forward to it. And thank you so much for doing this and setting this up and collaborating with me. I'm so excited to share Mama Cacao's plant spirit medicine with the world.
Yes. Yeah, it's such a beautiful heart and beautiful space, and what you hold in your heart and who you are as a spirit plant medicine holder is so palpable.
Yeah, thank you. I'm honoring my ancestors.
Yeah. Thank you, dear. We're going to end and enjoy this interview and information, and I'm going to send you lots of love.
All right. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, sister. I call you my sister.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Bye now.
Bye.